had to get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning to start baking the loaves of bread. But then we didn't get the hot bread out till about 10:30, 1 o'clock. And then it's Laurie Bradley, he used to make the mail run. He'd go out the north to Sandsmere, all around that area. And then he'd come back at 10 o'clock and pick another lot up and go up around Lillimar. Harold Wheaton, he used to get about 25 or 30 large 3 times a week to take out to Myram. You got a larger bread, but you could split it in two, so you could have 2 pieces. One was 1 and 3pence, the large was 2 and 6, and I think it was 9pence for a quarter. One summer day when we were pulling bread, it was 130 degrees when we had the bread out. So as soon as we got out of that dusting pot and had a shower to cool off, God, it was hot. Didn't have air conditioning in there either, only the windows open. Oh, it was good in summertime because the dough come quick because the heat was in it all the time. Wintertime, it slowed it down a bit because if you got a frosty morning, then it's going to be cool in the bakehouse to keep it going. But summertime was good. It got quite busy there around about 8:30, 9 o'clock, but after that it eased off a fair bit. But the butcher was down there. We only had to walk around through the fence and go and back at the butcher shop to get our pie meat. Oh, I was pretty busy on a Thursday because they all come for hot bread to take home. So as long as you didn't have too much over from Wednesday, they'd have all the hot bread to take home on Thursday afternoon. Well, once you shut the shop at 5:30, 6 o'clock, then you sell bread out the back here. There was more bread going out the back here than going out the front. Yeah. Well, we shut the shop at 12:30 at Saturday morning, and then I'd be back in the bakehouse making my fruitcake. And I'd put that in the oven at about 12 o'clock. Then I'd go rifle shoot until 5 o'clock, and I'd come back and pull it out and it'd be cooked. But that was 3'6" long, 18 inches wide, and about 3 inches thick. All fruitcake. You had to judge how much a pound was going to be, so you just cut a square out. If it's a little bit over a pound, you didn't worry about it. Well, when we mixed the dough, you had bakerine, malt flour, and yeast, and water and salt. When you got the dough just on finished, we used to put 3 pounds of margarine melted, pour that over the dough, and then work that into the bread. And once you got that all done, then you can put it back in the tray, put the lid on it, and then you can do your pies and pasties, sausage rolls, and your cakes. Laird Brothers was building the state school up at the top of the hill. And they used to come in every 10 o'clock for lunch, and I had to have apple shortbread slices cut for them so they could take a dozen up for lunch. And if I never had that, they would say, well, you better go and get some more. Yeah, because Broderick and Herdman had the grocery shop. And Ted Collins had one up where IGA is. Ted Collins had that one. The Commonwealth Bank was just in here when I was here. And if I had any money out of my wages, I'd just call the bloke in the back door and pass it over the fence and he'd put it in the bank for me. Oh, yeah, there was a blacksmith, old Mr. Elston. He was up there at Wimpy's, just this side of Wimpy between the Goldsworthy's garage and where Wimpy is now. He had a blacksmith shop in there. He was making ploughs and scarifiers. It was quite a busy town back then, really. You'd have the blacksmith bloke, Alan Clayton, was the striker. We bring out a lot of lump of metal like that to make a horseshoe. You put it in the forge, get it red hot, and then you'd make a horseshoe out of it. A lot of the old blokes had pipes, sucking a pipe all the time. I went to Nil one Sunday afternoon, and I come back and Ernie says all the bread's cold. So I had to turn around and make another batch of bread. I never got to sleep that night. Shortbread, you'd half cook that, and then you'd put your apple, then you put another slice over the top, paint it with egg white and sugar, and you'd cook that off. That's your apple slices. And then you had another one with fruit mince. It was the same. Cook half a sheet, fill it with fruit mince, put it over the top again, cook it up. Then you'd have to cut that up in pieces, so you get 2 and 6 a dozen. Sold a lot of pies with truckies going past, about 20 dozen, and about the same in pasties. Yeah, we had a good pie trade. Oh, well, some of the cockies used to leave it in their mailboxes for 3 or 4 days before they'd pick it up. Then they'd turn around and say, it's a bit dry. No wonder. I says, how long did you have to leave it in the mailbox? Oh, nearly a week. Well, I says, you couldn't have been very hungry, otherwise it'd be quicker than that. But Mrs. Batchelor down at Lillimore, she was battling a bit, and if we had any bread over, I'd give her a ring and say, you want some bread? You better come and get it. And she'd come up and get it. She had about 10 kids, so they took a bit of filling. So we'd give her the bread for nothing, the day-old bread. We used to give the hospital 2 large a day, but we didn't charge them for that. They got the bread for nothing for the hospital. Out there, you know, used to play when he got the wool check and when we got the wheat check twice in a year. We had to carry him for 6 months, or nearly 6 months by the time he got the wheat check and the wool check. It was nearly 6 months in between. So we carried him that time. And he only come in, as soon as he got the wool check, he'd come in and pay you up. Like they'd take a quarter of bread, that'd last them just a day, and they'd be back again tomorrow to get another quarter. Mr. Deans, he was an old lawyer up the town. He used to come to the back door every night to get his quarter loaf of bread on his way home from out. I got all the wood out there at Jesus' farm for the bakehouse. If I had any spare time in the bakehouse, I'd go out there and cut a load of wood and bring it in here, put it in the bakehouse. Well, we got all our wood from South Lillimore, and that'd be about 2'6" long to fit in the oven. And then you had a drawer plate over there and the firebox here. So you had to draw that out so the fire would go over the oven. And when you got it up to 700 degrees, and then you could shut it down, and then you put your bread in and it'll drop back to about 400. Go in there now and you'll see the little round gauge there. That'll tell you what temperature the oven was. Lenny Tink was a agent for grain up in the railway station. He had about 2,000 bags of oats. And when they shifted that, all the mice come down the town. And you had to watch when you went to bed at night, otherwise you're running over your face in bed. So that thick. And we had about 10 cats down here, and they just lay down, the mice would be running over the top and wouldn't even take an interest in. Too many of them. Well, we had to keep a watch on them because if they'd seen a little hole in the bag, well, then you had to sieve the whole lot of it. Ivy Crouch out there at South Lillimore, or South Canova, she had a 44 drum with a bottle and a piece of cheese stuck in the head of the bottle, and she wrapped the bottle with oil. So when the mouse come down, he couldn't turn around back because he was skidding in the oil, and he'd go for the cheese and he'd drop in the 40 gun. And I think she had 750 out of one lot. Now, most of the copies had good crops back in the 50s, even though it was fairly wet. They were fairly good crops. One time we sown 600 bags of oats for Don Goodwin out here at South Calliope, but flour was £43 a tonne. The wheat around here that went into the silo at Noski's was no good for bread. You mixed it up, put it in your tin, and you think it was going to roast, she just collapsed. Wouldn't hold up. A lot of it biscuit wheat. If you had noodle wheat, you got a $5 tonne extra for noodle wheat, but that had to have a protein of about 18%. Yeah, but until I got Quincy. I found out later, Dad used to have it quite often. Mum used to give him pineapple and sugar, and the acid in the pineapple and the sugar, cut it out and let it go. But I got Dr. Connor to go down and cut it open. You found out when you got it because you'd lose a lot of weight because you couldn't eat anything much. You could drink, but you couldn't eat a lot. It's too much and sore in the throat. But once you cut it out, well, he was right in a couple of days. Yeah, when we left the bakehouse in 1954, we left £1,000 that wasn't paid for. We couldn't get it back in either. Because once we got out of the road, out of sight, out of mind, finished. £1,000 left behind.